Hey everybody, welcome back to Total Dialysis. I was on Reddit recently and I saw a post about a kid who had just lost his kidneys at 23 years old, and he was feeling very lost. It was a lot of the same emotions I was feeling when I lost mine on my 20th birthday. He had to watch all his friends go on with their lives. He dropped out of college. It was a devastating blow to him. And these things happen to young adults. And, a lot of times they don't have a lot of guidance to help them through situations like this. They just kind of winging it because there are not too many people in their place. So this video is just more directly towards that. And I made some notes here on my phone. I'm going to go through them as I think this is not a survival guide, but just some tips from a person who lost their kidneys at a young age. Because when I lost mine, like I said, I was turning 20. I was about to become a supervisor at my job. I was getting my own apartment. I was in college, just graduated, and my kidneys went out and I lost all of that. And I had to move back home with my parents, and I pretty much all but stopped my life just because of the shock of losing my kidneys. So here's some things I want to read out to you. I'm going through my phone right quick to pull my notes back up. All right. The first thing is the future you is still coming. And that is one of the most critical things that you have to remember, is that your trauma does not stop your life. Your life continues to go. You may have to go a different path about it, but it is a good thing to keep in mind that, this happened, but my future me is still coming, and my future me still needs me to take care of them. I didn't have a lot of people around me to encourage me about that, because when I lost my kidneys, they were shocked too. They were as shocked as I was. It was very surprising. I used to run track, like, by all accounts. It shouldn't have happened, but it did. And when it did, my life was put into shock, and I didn't do anything for a while. I went to work, but I went to go work at a game store, and I dropped out of college, and I just all but given up. And so that is an important thing to remember, because now that I'm married and I have 3 children, and I'm working, I could have been a lot further along in life than I am now had I had someone to come and push me through those hard moments. So if there's anything that we're going to start with the future you is still coming, and you can't neglect them, because how they do is going to depend on what you do now. All right. Number 2. Let me open my phone again. Learn to be self-sufficient. And this one can seem hard at first, because you have to get used to your lifestyle of being a dialysis patient and your new limitations. But these boundaries like I said, it does not stop your life. All right. Your future is still coming, and you still have to take care of yourself. So learn to be self-sufficient. Learn to pick up a new skill, or to get involved with anything that you like. Those are great places to start. Get involved with stuff that you're passionate about, especially when you're on disability. You kind of have a soft bed a little bit. The government tends to pay you into a corner, but it's a start to get your education to get a better job. So, yes, you lost your kidneys, but it does not mean that you are helpless, and it's not an excuse to be helpless either. Especially when you're a young person. Your body doesn't handle dialysis like an older person's does, and so with a younger body, you feel it. You feel the dialysis, and I promise you'll probably feel it almost every day, but you're able to handle it better because of your youth. So invest in that time wisely, so that you can be taken care of again. when you get older, because your future is coming. All right. Let me see, what else do I have? Have patience with yourself, not pity. This is huge. And not that you can't have, when it first happens, there is a time for a shock value. And yes, that time for pity is there. Absolutely give it to yourself. All right. But you have to set a time in your mind that, all right, I got to get up and I got to do something now, because nobody wants to be around somebody who is always in a hole of self-pity. Okay. That being said, at the same time, still have patience with yourself as you learn to maneuver this world as a dialysis patient. You will have limitations. Like, for instance, I went back to college and I had to take a PE class, and all of a sudden I was running with these dudes and my body could not keep up with theirs. And it was frustrating. But, I kept trying until literally I almost couldn't walk. And my doc was like, Clancy, you're a dialysis patient. Your body doesn't function the same way as theirs does, because they have 2 healthy kidneys that does everything it needs them to do. And you don't. And, as frustrating as that was, I had to accept it and move on with my life. I had to tell my teacher, and they had to make accommodations so that I can still pass my physical education class and, get my degree. But, yes, you have to have patience with yourself, because it takes time. It takes time to be good at anything. And trust me, it takes time to be good at living with dialysis. It takes time to get used to defeat the pity mentality dialysis wants to give you. It takes time to build your life up from dialysis. It all takes time. So most definitely, have patience with yourself. All right. Here's a good one. Do not confide with people who are in the shock factor with you, which will almost be everyone. And what I mean by that is, like, for instance, when it first happened with my family couldn't say, hey man, I know this happened, but you still need to try to push through all this, because you still got to take care of yourself. You still plan on getting married one day. Everybody was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it happened. I went to church. Oh my God, I can't believe it happened. Just, and when people know that somebody is dealing with chronic illness, they tend to have an overwhelming pity for you all the time. Like, they talk to you like, oh yeah, you can't do that. I mean, they don't say you can't do that, but you get that sense of that feeling like, you can't do that. And it's not encouraging. It's not encouraging. And, it's a time and it's a place for having the compassion of people. But when you're trying to get on your feet and you're trying to become a sustainable dialysis patient that's, having an independent life, living off the pity of people is not always fun. It's not always fun. So if there is anything that I can encourage you to do is, have a time for your friends, for when you need encouragement, for when the dialysis mindset tries to defeat you. Have those people that will say, yes, what happened to you was horrible, but you still need to live your life. Your life is not over just because you lost your kidneys. And that's a good thing to remember, that trauma does not stop your life, and life does not stop at trauma. It doesn't, neither one of the two. All right. Let me see, what else do I got here? This is fun. Be patient with me. Be proactive in the things that interest you. And what that simply means is any hobbies, activities, or any skills that you like, take interest in them and grow them. Because a lot of times that ends up being where your money is coming from, right? So, like, my wife does some photography. I had started doing photography at first, and she took it up from me. I do a little writing. I work at a school. I've picked up several things of art that interest me, because you need those things to help pacify your life from the pain that you're feeling, from the pain of dialysis, you know. And so it's a good place to start when you're feeling depressed about dialysis and you're trying to pick yourself up out of depression. Find things outside of your world to incorporate into your world so that your world can expand, so that you don't stay in depression. I hope I said that right. I think I said that right. Find things to be interested in, because that'll lift you up. Okay? Let's see. Accept your limitations. Like I said, you know, I use the I use the basketball, the PE and basketball situation as an example. But like I wrote right here, you are not everyone else. And it'll be difficult if you compare your life to everyone else. And that's one of the most depressing things about dialysis, is the fact that you have to live on a machine and your friends and family are out there living like normal people. And if you compare your life to those Instagram lives, you will make yourself miserable, all right? It's one thing to be happy for people, but it's another thing when you're spending hours longing to wish that you can have what they have. And I've been guilty of it too. Because, you know, sometimes people run on the beach with that, you know, fit body and super healthy, and they can go, they've never been on dialysis, and they can move and go to visit whatever vacation they want to. And if I take a vacation, it either has to be like 2 days, or I have to take my dialysis machine with me, since I do home dialysis, you know. And then I have to do dialysis 4 days a week, 3 hours a day. And it can mess with you. It can mess with you. It can mess with you when you want to live a full life. It can mess with you when you want to go out with your friends and you can't drink as much as you want to, or you can't eat everything that you want to. These limitations suck. They do. There is no way around not acknowledging that. I acknowledge it with everything in me. But that's why I fight that much more for the good that's in my life, so that I can enjoy what I have, you know. Because if there wasn't dialysis, then there's the opposite, you know. And the opposite is, you know. So we're still alive, and that's a gift to be celebrated. And no, you can't celebrate it like everybody else, but you can do your hardest, your damn hardest, to make it work for you so that you can have a good life. And I absolutely encourage that. You know, you might not want to go to the beach because of your fistula or your graft, or, you know, if you're doing peritoneal dialysis, you got that tube. You might not want to go to the beach, but hey, go to a play. Go to the movies, all right? Go to work and then go out to eat afterwards. Go to one of those rooms where you have to figure out a way how to get to spend time with your friends and enjoy your life. You know, get involved heavily in what you can. And I promise you, those things that you can't be involved in won't matter as much when you're making your life work for you, okay? And I think this is my last one. Gotta unlock my phone again. It may take you longer, but do not stop. And that is the last thing I want to end with, and probably the most important thing, is to realize that your life has to have patience, and it might take you a little longer to do things than everybody else because of your situation. But if you stop, you put off your goodness, you put off the good things in life that much longer if you stop. All right? And if you keep working, it'll come to you when it's supposed to. But if you stop and you become stagnant, and you give up on school, and you give up on searching for love, and you give up on searching for a job, then you're pushing those things that much further out from you. Okay? And that's one thing that you don't want to do. And I know sometimes it seems like stopping life is just the easier option, and it is. You know, just like they said in Hamilton, dying is easy, but living is harder. All right, and stopping your life is an easy thing to do, but then the regret is so detrimental. You'll wish that you would have done what you could have, even in the midst of your dialysis. So whatever you do, I encourage you not to stop, just to keep going, even if it's one class a semester, if it's one bit at a time. As long as you are drawing breath and you are living and your eyes are opening every morning, you make sure your life counts. Do not wait, because if you wait, you put your rewards off that much further. All right? So, hey, if you like this video, hit the like button, and subscribe. We're working on more content, and there are some changes to the channel coming. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a good day, and remember, you can make it a good life.